have come to the most interesting lesson of the entire exercise or of the entire course, that's conducting the interview process. Now, whenever we are going to conduct an interview process, certain steps has to be followed. Why I'm saying it's the most interesting part? Because that's actually going to give you the result. And conducting an interview within a day, it's not an easy task. A lot of time mistakes happen, wrong hiring, wrong selection happens. Therefore, we must be very careful for the selection process. Yes, it can be reduced, it can be minimized by adopting certain processes, some set structure, which will help us to minimize the possibility of making mistakes, possibility of making wrong hiring. Now, if we are talking about conducting the interview process, there are four steps involved in that. That's a selection process, interview, and evaluation. And definitely prior to that, the primary process is identification of the campus. Here in the interview process, we will primarily talk about the selection process, the interview process, and the evaluation process. Now, without spending much time, let's start how to conduct an interview. Primarily, here we are talking about the campus recruitment on the day of campus hiring. Now, at first, we need to plan, we need to understand what to do, what is our target, what is our objective. Obviously, you cannot conduct a campus interview if you do not have any idea or any planning in place. So the first thing, you need to identify or finalize the recruitment numbers. How many number of recruitment you are going to hire? So at first, in the last couple of lesson, we have understood how we can do a gap analysis for a total fresher hiring of an organization in 3 years, and definitely dividing the same for each year hiring number. Now obviously, whenever you are segregating or getting the each year hiring number, you can definitely always understand how many campus or plan how many campus recruitment you must conduct in that particular year. Whenever you plan that, you also will get a number how many hiring can be done or should be done minimum from each campus. Obviously, based on the quality of the student, based on the performance of the students, the number can vary, but at least you will get a certain idea that what can be the maximum number or minimum number of hiring from a certain campus. The next one is definitely finalization of the eligibility criteria, streams, and marks. You are not going to hire each one and everyone. And most important, as I have mentioned earlier as well, the fresher hiring, the interview process will start without any CV screening. So you will not go through the CV, each and every individual CV. But on the other hand, you will actually conduct a screening process, which is not only the online assessment but also screening it by implementing or informing about different cutting cut off marks of the fresher, and also what kind of streams you are going to select. So say for example, in a software company, you may be hiring only from the streams, like if you are hiring BTech students, only from streams like electronics, computer science, information technology. For a manufacturing company, you are going to hire only from instrumental and mechanical, sometimes civil as well. Maybe for an organization you want throughout 60%. For another organization, maybe you want 80% in class 10 and 12. So based on the organization requirement, based on the principle of the organization, based on the kind of process or structure you have in the organization, the eligibility mark, the eligibility stream can be decided. But on the other hand, definitely it will help to do the primary level of screening. Now obviously, the next step is selection of campus. Again, you will not go to all the campuses available in India or in your region as well. Nowadays there are multiple campus will approach you if you start fresher hiring. You need to understand which one is convenient for you. Maybe no, based on your organization structure, you must do that. It's very simple. If you are not a brand, if you cannot offer a new product, if you cannot offer something exciting, too much exciting to the students, better not to go the premium colleges. The expectation, if you cannot offer a much better salary, better not to go to premium colleges, because the expectation will be much different in terms of student quality and in terms of their expectation from the job. Therefore it's better to go for other colleges, because it's imperative, or it's a wrong thought process if you are thinking that only from IIM, IIT or any other premium college can offer or can give you good students. Good students are available everywhere. Maybe they are studying in another place because of certain reason, their scores are not good, because of certain reasons. So it doesn't mean only good students are available in premier colleges. In other colleges also good students are available. Yes, the process can be a little bit difficult, little bit extensive, but on the other hand, definitely good students are available in everywhere. You need to identify them. That's your target primarily as a HR professional, as a hiring manager. So therefore, based on your organizational structure, based on the kind of fresher hiring you want to conduct, you have to select the campus. Maybe your management also can give you certain instruction. Maybe you can discuss within your team, but the selection of the campus is very important. If you do not want to travel, you should not go for a campus which is not located nearby. If you do not want to pay too much of salary, you must not go to any good colleges. If you do want some specific skill, you must go to those campuses where the specific skill sets are available. If you have previous connection, like already you have conducted the pre-placement session, industry connect session, those would be your first campus recruitment place where you should conduct this. So couple of criteria, couple of points has to be considered before selecting the campus. Now obviously you need to create a notice, hiring announcement, and the notices can be in form of an advertisement, a kind of job description plus a description about your organization, definitely the eligibility criteria, the streams who are eligible to appear for the campus interview, with a lucrative structure, with a lucrative visual has to be there in the notice, in the announcement. So once the announcement is created, it must be verified by your management, sometime by the corporate communication team, and then you circulate to different colleges or different places, because campus placement is not only a selection process, it's also a kind of advertising or branding exercise for your organization. So the information of the organization, the information about the position has to be marketed, has to be showcased properly in the hiring announcement. Now let's go to the step 2, where we will directly start with the selection process. Now this is the day when we are already there in the campus recruitment, in the campus. So now we assume all our planning processes are done. We know what to hire, whom to hire, the eligibility conditions and criteria is decided. We already selected the campus, prepared a presentation, prepare a visual ad, circulated it. Now we have gone for the campus placement on that day. Obviously you need to at first select your technical panel who are going to accompany you based on the number of students appearing for the particular campusing. So maybe 3, 4, 5, 10 technical panels are required. Then how many HR person will accompany? Do you really need a someone senior to conduct another round of interview? All these things has to be decided. So selection of the interview panel is very important before going for any campus interview. So once your selection of the technical panel is done, you go there and do a company presentation. Again, a company presentation has to be prepared. Again, it's a very good branding exercise. So whenever you are talking about a branding exercise, obviously the branding has to be done properly. The branding has to be conducted in a proper way through the presentation. So all the information about the organization, when you have started, what are the different technologies or products you have, what are the different clients you have, what are the career opportunities there in the organization, all these informations must be there in your presentation, so the students will understand little bit about the organization and they feel interested to be a part of this. Now the next step, obviously once you are done with the presentation, you need to conduct an online assessment. Now the online assessment can be something, an internal software, or maybe you can use some external softwares like Interview Mocha, multiple online softwares are there, but definitely you need to decide at first what kind of skill sets you are going to assess through your online assessment. Is it only aptitude, English, reasoning, and something like something related to your overall technical aptitude, or you want to understand hardcore technical capabilities as well up to certain extent. So based on that, how much you want to assess, what would be the segregation of those different sections, you have to create the online assessment. And that assessment is a one-time job. So once you decide about the segregation along with your manager and other people who are responsible for this particular initiative, you then incorporate or create the questions and put it in your online assessment. If you're using something like Interview Motion Metal, obviously already the question banks are there. You can just select the criteria and plug and play, because the questions will automatically pull from the question bank. So you conduct the online assessment, and online assessment is actually the biggest screening process for your organization. As I have mentioned earlier, in fresher hiring, CV screening is not possible. So you do the screening, the first level of screening by giving a eligibility criteria, then the next screening by conducting an online assessment. So whenever you are conducting an online assessment, if not possible at least to a assessment on paper, the first level of screening is done. You select whom to interview. Then you start a group discussion. Sometime you can have a group discussion, may not have a group discussion. It depends on the number of students are there. One thing you must understand, the campus recruitment is not only a selection process, but a process of elimination as well. You need to eliminate the people who are not worth it, who is not at all fit for your organization. So through group discussion, you can understand their speaking capability, their capability to manage different situation, to lead something. So obviously that will give you a first hand idea. But sometime if the students numbers are less, group discussion may not be a very wise step or may not be required. So then you will go directly to the technical interview and one-to-one discussion, where each and every individual speak with your interview panel. Obviously, to make it standardized, you can have certain number of questions, certain number of set process of interview in order to make it standardized, and then give it to the interview panel or give a presentation to them even before coming from the campus interview. Train them, teach them how to do this, and then start the one-to-one interview. Obviously, the time consuming for one-to-one interview may not be more than 15 minutes or 30 minutes, because if you spend too much of time for one-to-one interview, it would be impossible for you to complete the whole process. Because one thing you must understand, campus interview a process where everything must be completed within the day one. You cannot continue on day two. That is not a very standard practice. Even if you go to day two, that has to be completed within day two. So the interview timing must be selected by each and every individual. Then once the interview is done, you must go for HR round. Now again, I will re-emphasize on that point. The selection is very important in case of HR round. You do a cultural alignment. You understand the learning potential. You understand the attitude of that person who you are going to hire, because attitude, learning potentials are very important points whenever you are hiring fresher. For lateral hiring, people already exposed to the professional environment. They know their responsibilities. But freshers are like a blank sheet of paper. They don't know anything about the industry, how the industry behaves, how learning can happen, and what kind of attitude must be kept as a professional. Therefore, evaluating the same is very important whenever you are conducting a HR round. And so therefore, a lot of emphasis has to be given on different types of scenarios, case study based questions, and definitely to understand the overall attitude and learning potential of an individual. Now once you are done, once you select the people, the final selection is done. Obviously you need to shortlist the final candidates. Create a list, what are the students, what are the candidates that has been shortlisted. Then definitely you require an approval. Most of the organization do not hire just like that. If a senior person is already there in the campus interview, then the approval can be done then and there. If not, then can be it possible that you can communicate the first level of screening to the institute, go back to your organization, take the necessary approval, then communicate the result within a day or two to the campus. One thing you must remember, even if you are taking an approval after going back to your organization, that must not take more than 1 to 2 days, because campus recruitment always the expectation is that you offer immediately. If somehow you cannot offer immediately, at least try to offer within a day or two, or communicate the selection at least within a day or two. So communication is very important. If you do not communicate, then it may happen another campus recruitment happens in the same college and another organization comes, and then definitely your shortlisted students is already selected by another organization, because most of the campus they hire in or they conduct the campus interviewing process on first come first serve basis. So if you communicate the result, the students are then kept for you. They are not going to sit for any other campus interview. In most of the cases that happen. Now not only the communication, you also need to issue the offer, the selection confirmation. But yes, communication must have within a day or two, and the offer letter issue can be done within a week or something, because once you are confirming the result, then the students are already kept with you. But also, sending a confirmation of offer or sending a confirmation offer letter itself, it is very much assuring for the students. They understand, yes, the organization has already shortlisted me. Now, before completing the entire lesson, we will recap the entire thing. So at first, you have the numbers. The next step, you select the technical panels. Who are the technical panels going to accompany you in the campus? Because you need to accompany them. You need their help. You need their support. You need to prepare a PPT for them as well. You need to train them how to take the interview. What are the different questionnaires you must ask? What are the different time duration? So create the entire plan and explain the same to your interview panel. Create a company presentation where you will explain about the company, explain different aspects, technical things used by the company. Those things must be mentioned in the presentation. Next step, create an online assessment. Understand what are the skill sets, what are the different areas you are going to cover in the online assessment. It can be aptitude, reasoning, technical capability. Then create that or buy something and then implement the same. Then after going for the campus interview, you conduct the company presentation exercise. Then conduct the online assessment, select the first level of screening, then conduct a kind of group discussion. If not possible, directly go to the one-to-one interview, conduct a HR interview, and then select a first level of selection. Then complete the approval process, maybe within the day of campus recruitment or within a day. Then communicate the result and then issue the offer letter. So these are the couple of steps that must be followed to conduct an online assessment, campus interview process, and the entire HR interview. One thing we understood from this, even before campus interview, we must be ready with couple of documents, couple of information. Number one, you need the interview panel. You need to train them. You need to create a pool from where you will always take the interview panels and different campusing, because obviously everyone is not available on different particular day. Prepare a company presentation, get it approved, and most important, prepare an online assessment platform, select an online assessment platform and complete that. That's how you would be ready to take the interview in campus assessment. And also you need to prepare the template for the campus placement, the template of the offer letter, the template of different process of selection. So that's it for this particular lesson. Definitely we will share some article, we'll share some template on company presentation, we'll share some template on the interview capture note, the kind of form you can use for campus interview, and also a sample online assessment center that will help you to understand what needs to be done to complete an online assessment platform. So that's it from this particular lesson. We'll come back for the next lesson very soon. Thank you.